All right, Melanie, you ready? Okay. All right, it is 5 o'clock on Monday, November 13th. I'll call the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of Boerne ISD to order. Establish a quorum. We have a full quorum. We have Maritza Gonzalez Cooper. We have Jessica Davila, Garrett Wilson, Superintendent Dr. Thomas Price, myself, Carlin Fryer, Rich Senna, Christy Schmidt, and Joe Tidwell. At this point in time, we're going to go into closed session for the following items. We have first personnel under pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, deliberation regarding matters related to employment, appointments, resignations, termination, retirements, and reassignments. Pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071 and 551.129, attorney consultation regarding status updates and legal considerations concerning the Boerne High School courtyard upgrades project. And pursuant to section 551.089, considering security assessments or deployments related to information resources technology, network security information described by Government Code section 2059.055B, or the deployment of specific occasions for implementation of security personnel, critical infrastructure, or security devices. So it is now 5:03, and we will go into closed session. All right, good evening. It is approximately 6:30, so we will come out of closed session back into open session. We'll reestablish our quorum. We do have all board members present. We have Maritza Gonzalez Cooper, Jessica Davila, Garrett Wilson, Superintendent Dr. Thomas Price, myself, Carlin Fryer, Rich Senna, Christy Schmidt, and Joe Tidwell. And at this point in time, Brian, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please rise, and gentlemen, please remove your caps for the presentation of colors presented tonight by the award-winning Boerne champion JROTC Color Guard. Leading us in tonight's pledges are the Fair Oaks Ranch Elementary School Student Council members.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
If you would please remain standing for a moment of silence and prayer. Thank you. You may be seated. Mr. President, Board of Trustees, our Fair Oaks Ranch students have put together some really great questions for you this evening.
Well, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. How do you guys handle conflict together?
So why don't you tell us your name first and tell us what grade you're in, and then we'll answer some questions.
I'm Anna Jane Gillian. I'm in 5th grade.
Awesome. How do we handle conflict together? So conflict among the board members or anything in the community?
Like in the community, if you get like more like students, like how do you work it out together? Like,
Oh.
how do you like decide what like school they go to, or like if there's a problem at a school, how do you like decide how to face it together?
Who wants to handle that one?
Well, I would say that I think we address conflict hopefully like most people do, and try to understand where the other person's coming from, right? That's kind of the basics of conflict resolution, is not just tell somebody how it should be or how you think it should be, but try to understand their point of view first and then come to an agreement based on that. So I would say we try to do that.
A lot of listening.
Thank you.
My name is Macy, and I'm in 5th grade. And what do you do to help our community?
Christy.
Thank you for your question. First of all, I will say that I think it's very important that we all give back to our communities. My family, in particular, we serve at our church, FBC Boerne, and we help with the new member class there. So every time we have a group of new members, then we get together and plan a lunch and a class for them. Another area that I like to serve in our community is Stillwater. I'm sure you might have heard of Champ Camp. So for the past 10 years, I've helped to make Champ Camp happen in our community.
Thank you. My name is Claire, and I'm in 5th grade. And what is the biggest problem you face, and how did you solve it?
Biggest problem. Joe, you've got that look.
I'm surprised you're okay with me answering this question. Well, for me, probably the biggest thing and we kind of take turns. So generally, there's a new president every year. In the year I was president, we had a big problem called dress code, and dress code was a nightmare. And what we thought we were doing up here was relaxing our dress code and making it uniform across the district. What we were doing was surprising and irritating everybody. Students, the administrators that had to deal with this, teachers that had to deal with this, parents. And it kind of goes back to the first question as well. One of the things I'm glad that we did, we were able to listen, because lots of people are willing to come tell us their experience of the dress code at these meetings. And then we were able to adjust from there. So I think it just goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is being able to listen. But that was one of the big things when I was where Mr. Fryer is. Thank you.
Question.
My name is Violet, and I'm in 5th grade. Why did you want to be a part of the board?
Very much for the same reason why you all are in student council. Being part of something great, being involved, loving to serve and engage the community. Just the same reasons why you all are involved in student council.
Thank you.
I'm Skylar, I'm in 5th grade, and what is the most rewarding part about being in the school board?
So for me, I love this part where you guys get up and ask us questions, and you ask us really great questions. I love that, and I love that you have the opportunity to come up here and present yourself to us. So I think that's really great for you personally. I know one of our board members here mentioned graduation, which I think is always what Dr. Price usually says as well. Our favorite is just watching y'all graduate, come across the stage, that we can hand you your diploma. So it's really rewarding to see you reach that goal.
Thank you.
Great questions.
All right, Mr. President, Dr. Price, Board of Trustees, and our esteemed guests, thank you for being here tonight. This is my favorite part of our Board of Trustees meetings. If you haven't been to a meeting before, this is the part where we honor our fantastic students and staff for their recent accomplishments. And tonight, we will honor a total of 10 groups and about 130 total students and staff here tonight. So you're here on a great night to talk about student success and to talk about staff success. And as our board and Dr. Price come down tonight, we invite you to stay until the end of commendations, because then we'll have a video of a great student that we want you to see as well. So hopefully you can stay for a few minutes and watch all of our students be honored tonight. Our first commendation honors the Champion Chargers boys water polo team for winning the 2023 UIL Class 6A state silver medal. The Chargers had another historic water polo season, winning their second straight state silver medal. Champion won their second straight District 26 Class 6A championship with another undefeated record. The Chargers won the Region 4 championship by winning 5 playoff matches. In the state semifinals, the Chargers came from behind to defeat Pearland Dawson 10-9 to advance to the state championship game. In the finals, Champion fell to Louisville Marcus to earn the state silver medal. Champion closed out its historic season with an impressive 25-4 overall record and set a record for most wins in a season. Let's hear it for the silver medalist, Champion Chargers boys water polo team. And can we have the parents and supporters of these fine young men raise your hands and wave? We want to make sure we thank you for supporting your students. Let's hear it one more time for the Chargers state silver medalists. Congratulations. Our next commendation this evening celebrates the Champion Chargers tennis team for winning the Class 5A state bronze medal. The Chargers had a historic season once again, winning the state bronze medal. Champion continued their regular season dominance as they won their third straight district championship. The Chargers won the Region 4 Class 5A championship by winning 5 playoff matches, and they defeated Alamo Heights in the finals to win the regional championship. Champion closed out its historic season with an impressive 17-5 record and qualified for the state tournament for the 5th time in school history. Let's hear it for the state bronze medalists. And if we could have parents and supporters of the Chargers tennis team raise your hands too. We want to make sure we clap and thank you for your support of Charger tennis. Congratulations and go Chargers. Thank you for being here tonight. If you're keeping track, this will be our third state medalist that we're going to honor here tonight. Up next, we honor the Boerne Greyhounds boys cross country team. They won the state bronze medal. The Greyhounds also had a historic season, winning the state bronze medal. It is the first state medal for Greyhounds boys cross country since 2004 when they won the state championship. Boerne qualified for the state meet thanks to placing second at the Region 4 meet. This is the Greyhounds' second year in a row to advance to state and the second year as regional runner-up. On the girls' side, Eleanor Davis placed 15th at the region meet to qualify for state. This was Eleanor's third time to run at the state cross-country meet. Let's hear it for Eleanor. And let's hear it one more time for the state bronze medalist, Boerne Greyhounds boys cross-country team. And we want to recognize the parents and supporters of the Greyhounds here. Can you all raise your hands too? We want to make sure we thank you for supporting the Greyhounds. Thank you very much. Congratulations, go Greyhounds. Thanks for being here tonight. But we're not done with state medalists, folks. Our next commendation celebrates champion sophomore Elizabeth Leachman. She won the state championship in cross country. We're also honoring the Chargers boys cross country team. They won the state bronze medal. And we're also honoring the Charger girls cross country team as they were state qualifiers. So 3 great honors here tonight. Elizabeth Leachman dominated the field and easily won the 2023 girls individual, district, and regional championships. She won the state title by over 1 minute and set a UIL state record for the fastest time ever. This is Elizabeth's second individual state championship as she won gold in the 1,600 meters at the 2023 state track meet. Let's hear it for Elizabeth Leachman, a state champion once again. Not to be outdone, the Charger boys cross country team won the state bronze medal. Champion continued their regular season dominance as they won the district championship once again and won the Region 4 championship as well. And the girls cross-country team had an outstanding season as they qualified for the state meet. The champion girls continued their regular season success as they finished second in the district to qualify for regionals. The Charger girls also won the regional championship with a hard-fought race. Let's hear it for these Chargers and their state success. And we also want to make sure our Charger parents raise your hands here tonight. We want to make sure we thank you for supporting these cross-country athletes. And we want to wish Charger coach Jonathan Tate a very happy retirement coming up in December. Thank you for all you've done, Coach Tate, for Boerne ISD. Go Chargers, and thank you all for being here tonight. Congratulations. Our next commendation honors Boerne and Champion students who participated in the first ever District Technology Advisory Council. Let's hear it for these fine students and what they did to help Boerne ISD technologically. Let's give them a great hand. Thank you to our fine group of students who volunteered their valuable time to serve on this very important committee, which will impact future BISD students. Along with BISD teachers, administration, and community members, these students played an integral role in helping to develop our district technology plan, which you will hear about later tonight. We appreciate their hard work and dedication to help keep Boerne ISD top notch. Let's hear it for the District Technology Advisory Council members. And if their parents or supporters are here, can you raise your hands too? We want to make sure we thank you for supporting your students and Boerne ISD. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Thank you very much for being here this evening. Our next commendation celebrates champion high school junior Sophia Schnoke, who was selected as a delegate to the JDRF 2023 Children's Congress in Washington, D.C. Let's hear it for Sophia. The goal of the JDRF Children's Congress is to advocate for support of legislation concerning added funding for type 1 diabetes research, treatments, and a cure. While in Washington, Sophia got to know many other type 1 diabetics from around the country and made friendships that are likely to last for many years. More importantly, she had the opportunity to attend a Senate committee hearing on the special diabetes program, as well as other congressional and Senate acts. Sophia joined students from across the United States at the Children's Congress. And November is Diabetes Awareness Month. Boerne ISD is proud to join the fight to find a cure for diabetes. Let's hear it for Sophia and her fantastic advocacy with JDRF. And let's hear it for those who are here to support Sophia. Is anybody here? Raise your hands. Yes, thank you very much. Very proud back there. Thank you for being here. Our next commendation, we go to Fine Arts, honors the Champion Chargers Wind Ensemble, a national commended winner. Once again, let's hear it for the Chargers Wind Ensemble. The Chargers Wind Ensemble had another historic competitive season, earning the National Commended Winner Award for the second straight year. They are the first BISD band program to be recognized for this honor. Champion has been invited to perform in several prestigious events thanks to their stellar work and have set the bar high for BISD fine arts students. Last year, the Chargers were invited to perform at the prestigious Western International Band Clinic in Seattle. The Chargers continue to be recognized both nationally and statewide for their top-notch performances. Let's hear it for the Chargers Wind Ensemble and their National Commended Winner Award once again. And where are the parents and supporters? Please raise your hand. We want to thank you for supporting these fine young students. Congratulations once again on all of your success. Our next commendation celebrates Champion High School for being named a National AP School Honor Roll Silver recipient. This is a national award. Let's hear it for the Champion Chargers. For a school to be recognized on the AP School Honor Roll, it must be located within the United States and meet each of the following criteria. 40% or more of the graduating cohort took at least one AP exam during high school. 25% or more of the graduating cohort scored 3 or higher on at least one AP exam. 2% or more of the graduating class took 5 or more AP exams during high school, and they have to have full-time grade 12 enrollment. Only 30% of eligible high schools in the U.S. are recognized as an AP School Honor Roll recipient. This is a big honor. Let's hear it for the Champion High School Chargers. Our next commendation is a special recognition to First Baptist Church of Boerne for their support of Boerne ISD. Come on down, FBC of Boerne. Thank you for being here tonight. Let's give them a round of applause for their support tonight. This is the 5th year that BISD is hosting Cookies and Cocoa Toy Drive, and without hesitation, First Baptist Church of Boerne stepped up to sponsor our Cookies and Cocoa every single year. We are so thankful for their support and our 2 board members as well of Boerne ISD. We want to see everybody here on December 1st for Cookies and Cocoa at Boerne Academy. And you can donate as many toys as you want for the community. That's December 1st at Boerne Academy. Thank you to First Baptist Church of Boerne for their support of Boerne ISD. At this time, I'd like to introduce our athletic director, Coach Stan Leach, for a special recognition. Coach Leach.
Well, thank you, Brian. It is special. Okay, Coach. Let's bring our special athletes, the Boerne Blaze. Let's hear it. Thank you, Coach. Now, they have those certificates, and they're very proud of them. And as we're here today because they qualified for the state Special Olympics swim. And as you can tell, they did very well. There's a lot of gold there. And so let's hear it. Chris Dollinger, Carly Fisk, Kyla Daniel, and Alexa Bain. Let's give them. And Coach Sherry Cox. Let's hear it. You bet.
Where are their parents at?
Okay, parents, please stand. Thank y'all. Where are the parents? Everybody wave. Thank you.
Good job. Thank you. I appreciate it. At this time, I'd like to introduce our board president, Mr. Carlin Fryer, for a special recognition.
Don't go far. So many of you know, probably everybody knows, that this is Dr. Price's final board meeting as our superintendent. We are in the very end of our search. We've actually have a candidate of choice. We'll have a board meeting on Wednesday night where we'll be naming our lone finalists to fill Dr. Price's shoes. They're huge shoes to fill. But for Dr. Price's retirement, just on behalf of the Board of Trustees and a grateful community, we want to present you with this plaque highlighting just a few of your achievements while here at BISD. So to Dr. Thomas Price, Boerne Independent School District 2017 to 2024, in recognition of your dedication to academic excellence and passion to promote opportunities for all BISD students, it's with deep gratitude that we acknowledge your leadership, service, and countless contributions to BISD. 37 years in education, Regional Superintendent of the Year in 2018, HEB Excellence in Education winner, Best Small School District in Texas in 2020, named a top workplace in 2020, passage of the 2022 bond election, and this is presented to you on behalf of the Boerne ISD Board of Trustees, administration, staff, and a grateful community. We want you to come forward. We're going to do a picture real quick, and then we're going to do a picture with the family that's here. Let you introduce everyone. Come on forward. Donna, would you like to come up? Sean? Sybil? Come on, everybody's in. Yep. Thanks to this special lady over here in the corner, Melanie, we've pulled together a very special commemorative farewell video for Dr. Price with both current and former colleagues. So it's over 20 minutes long. We're not going to play it all here right now. And we're going to present that to Dr. Price as a special keepsake. But we're going to play a snippet of the video and wanted to share it with you here tonight.
When we were finished with the interview process almost 7 years ago, we knew you were the right guy to lead our district to better things and a better future. And we have never, ever been disappointed.
Our community and our schools are better because of you and your service here. And wanted to also say thank you for the friendship that you and Donna have had with Susan and I. We truly value that friendship.
And one thing I've noticed that you speak to many different audiences throughout your day, and you are always encouraging, and that just goes a long way.
You truly are an inspiration. We absolutely love you and your family. We are so grateful for everything you and Donna have done to the Boerne community and for our students.
You know, there's a saying from the great movie Rio Bravo, where Dean Martin asks John Wayne how good Ricky Nelson is. And John Wayne makes a comment that Ricky Nelson is so good, he doesn't feel like he has to prove himself. And every time I watch that movie, I think of you, because you're like Ricky Nelson. You're so good, you don't feel like you have to prove yourself.
And just giving us permission to do our job and make Boerne athletics great. We have had the greatest 7 years of our history while you were here, and we thank you.
There's not any other leader that I would be willing to walk into the toughest fight or the biggest celebration with other than you. Congratulations on your retirement.
You've been more than just a boss. You've really been a coach, and you've really been a friend. And for that, I will always be eternally grateful for the opportunities you've given me.
You've taught me to see the potential in others when they don't see it in themselves, and that's particularly true with me. You've pushed me and encouraged me. You've not only made me a better leader, but a better person in this world.
I know when you let me know that you were leaving, I told you I wish we could have had a longer time to work together. Really learned a lot from you. You've got so much great experience, such a great wealth of knowledge, and such a kind heart in working with people.
You've taught me a lot since I've been here in 4 years, not just as a professional, but as a human being and as a man. You're a tremendous family man. You always tell us to make sure that we take time out for our family and for ourselves, and that means a lot to us because we are a family.
Thank you for seeing an opportunity for me. I firmly believe I wouldn't be sitting in this seat without your involvement in my career. Thank you for always pushing me and for encouraging me to better myself.
I know you're going to be here for us as a resource, and I look forward to continuing that relationship.
There are no words that can truly express how much your support has meant to me over the years. Your belief in me has given me confidence and inspired me to do my best and give my best every single day.
He led by example, probably the hardest working man I've ever been around. So everything you got, much deserved. I'm proud of you. After serving with you, I was honored enough to consider you to be a good friend.
Thank you for the personal and professional commitment that you've made to me and so many others as growing us as leaders in the field of education. It takes courage and commitment to stay the course in this field, and you are the exemplar for all of us to follow.
Tommy, you paid it forward. You took that little trophy for your hard work, and you have re-gifted that trophy over and over to your staff, to students. I am so proud of you. Congratulations on your retirement, and as you look toward your new adventures in your life, always remember to keep paying it forward. I am so proud of you, Tommy.
God bless.
Thanks a lot, and have a great retirement.
Thank you so much for serving Boerne ISD and for making me a better person.
Congratulations on your retirement.
May God bless your family and yourself in your next endeavors, and we just thank you for your service.
Congratulations on your retirement. I hope it's everything you want it to be.
And I just want to say thank you again for the opportunity and wish you the best of luck in the road ahead.
Thank you so much for everything. Really hope you enjoy your retirement.
Happy retirement, Dr. Price.
I wish you nothing but love, joy, and adventure on your retirement.
Thank you, Dr. Price, for a wonderful 7 years.
Have a great retirement, and we look forward to seeing you out around town.
Enjoy your retirement, and we'll never forget you, Tony.
Donna, we appreciate you sharing Tommy with us. It's been a great 7 years, and thank goodness you're still going to be here. So, all right.
Something got my eye.
We invite you to stay after this next presentation because we have one more student that we want you to meet here tonight. And Mr. President, I will yield the floor to you.
All right, Brian, we're actually at character counts. I think you're going to introduce that. Or do you have a Coach Leach?
Yeah, President Fryer, tonight we're going to hear from FABRA Principal Troy Ladiolis, as well as some students about Boerne Outdoor Academy.
Troy.
Hello, good evening. How are y'all?
Good.
Good. I'm honored to be able to share with y'all a little bit about Boerne Outdoor Academy, or here in Boerne, as everyone just says, BOA. If you're not from Boerne, as soon as you come to Boerne, you quickly learn what BOA is. And from the time students start school, they look forward to the experience of BOA to the time they get out of 5th grade. And a few years back, it was in 6th grade. And it's one of those moments that they never forget. And so I know it's on the screens, but just a quick snippet about BOA. BOA has been going on since 1997. It's looked a little different over the years, being in 6th grade and then 5th grade. And of course, there was that year with that thing called COVID where we had to audible. But it's an experience in which kids get the opportunity to spend 3 days, 2 nights away from home. And it's pretty much the epitome of the Boerne community in a total community effort. When you have roughly over 100 5th graders spending the night somewhere, staff, parents, probably about a total of 5 hours sleep while they're out there. It's a pretty amazing event. And while I would love to sit here and tell you that kids walk away with great academic takeaways, it's really a lot more than that. It is the character that they build, it's the friendships that they build, and the experiences. And so I know they said real quick kind of my principal perspective, but I've been blessed to experience BOA not only as a principal, but I've experienced as a parent as well. And I can tell you, it is just, it's amazing to see these kids, many of which, or I say many, some of which have never stayed the night away from their own home, many of which have never had that opportunity to go camping or to be out in the wilderness and just experience Mother Nature. It's a pretty awesome experience, but I think the ones that could explain that to you better than me are the kids themselves. And so we have a couple of kiddos from the high school that are going to share with you their perspective as a high school student, and then a couple of kiddos from the middle school who just recently attended as fifth graders. And so the way BOA works is students from Champion High School that go through a strenuous selection process, and students from Boerne, they serve as campus mentors for their feeder patterns. So tonight we have Hope Jackson and Trent Adamson to share a little bit with you more about their experiences. So Trent, Hope.
Hi, how are y'all doing? My name's Trent. BOA was an incredible experience. I attended it as a student in the 5th grade, so it was really cool to be able to go back as a leader now with this big group of kids and just be their leader and guide them through all these activities. It was just really cool, taking them on hikes, making little paper rockets with them, solving little arguments that they had, and just encouraging them and pushing them to go through each activity and have fun. It's really great.
Hi, my name is Hope Jackson. I'm a senior at Boerne High School, and I've had the opportunity to serve as a BOA student leader for the past 2 years, as well as a mentor for the 5th grade students. I believe that student leaders' main role is to influence the 5th graders in a positive light and make their camping experience the best possible. BOA provides many great attributes, such as team building, learning how to get along with others, and in my opinion, the best, which is having 3 days technology free. Most kids don't experience. I attended BOA when I was in 5th grade, and I still remember my experience because it had such an impact on my. Even though the Hermans & Sons location does not provide the same level of experience as the camp, it does accommodate all activities, and it fits the interests of campers, student leaders, and children. Aside from the location, BOA is a wonderful experience for both 5th graders and high school student leaders, something we will all remember for the rest of our lives. I think BOA is something exciting and different that Boerne has to offer, and I hope that it continues for many years after I graduate from Boerne High School. BOA has taught me patience as well as diligence and endurance. I hope that BOA impacted the 5th graders the same way that it impacted me, and I hope that they want to be student leaders when they are seniors. Thank you.
Wow.
We've got 2 recent 5th graders for you here also. We've got Emma Latiolis and Haley Jones.
For me, definitely BOA was a great experience. And I think I can speak for everyone when I say BOA was amazing. My favorite part of BOA was the competitions, of course. But I also loved enjoying the outdoors with the people around me. My BOA counselors made the experience even better than I thought it could be. When we arrived at camp, we were welcomed by a tunnel of BOA leaders and then accompanied into our cabins. We got to have many fun experiences with all the people around us in the outdoors. It was a great time just to get away from all the home and technology and get 3 days to spend without school and get to have a chance to go outdoors. I hope this event keeps going on for generations and that every 5th grader in BISD gets the chance to participate in BOA. After my experience, I will definitely go to BOA as a high schooler. I am so thankful I got to participate in this event. Thank you for your time, and go Greyhounds.
BOA was very fun for me. We got to do a bunch of things like fishing, canoeing, and geocaching. We also got to learn a lot about nature. Our leaders were also very nice. I think BOA also helped me grow new relationships with people and also made some of my relationships even stronger. I know BOA has impacted a bunch of kids' lives because it's been around for so long. Believe it or not, both of my parents went to BOA as kids. BOA also gives kids who don't have the opportunity to do much outdoors to experience all the fun things in nature. I know for a fact that once kids go to BOA, they will remember this trip forever. At least I know I will.
So I heard both of you say you want to be mentors when you're seniors.
Yes.
So my question really probably goes back to Trent and Hope. How competitive is it, or what's the process for getting selected to be a mentor? No, that's okay. Sure, I'm just, yeah, how competitive, what's the process for being selected as a mentor?
So for Boerne,
Okay, for Boerne, we have to have like, we have to do,
There you go.
okay, we have to do like a whole application, and then you have to be passing all your classes, and it's a lottery system between seniors and juniors, and then there's like a certain amount of returning seniors, and then some juniors. So it's mostly seniors and then a couple juniors, but it's a lottery system.
Great. So y'all are taking notes on what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
Good grades. And play the lottery, apparently, so. No, thank you very much. Thanks for your leadership, and I'm glad it's a tradition that we can continue doing and giving that opportunity to our fifth graders.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Great job, ladies. Great job.
Ladies, Emma and Haley, before you sit down, you strike me as being very confident and articulate in front of 100 people. So that's impressive for sixth graders. Besides being BOA leaders when you get to be high school students, what else do you see in your future plans?
When I'm in high school, I definitely want to participate in a lot of school events like sports and stuff. I currently play soccer for a club, and so I'd like to continue that throughout my Boerne High School career.
I was thinking a little longer term. Maybe you want to become a principal of a school someday.
I think you have a great role model.
I have been told that I'm a mini teacher, so I've been thinking about, when you think about it, in high school you can take pathways of what you want to be when you grow up, and so now in middle school, now I got to think about, what am I gonna pick? Because I got a lot of options, but you never know. You got to kind of weigh them out. And so I like teacher, but I like dentist, and I want to try maybe playing college soccer, so you never know.
Good answer.
Well, when I get into high school, I definitely want to be on the girls' soccer team. Because me and Emma both love playing soccer, and I definitely see both of us playing soccer in college. But I am going to try and run for president. I got voted that I was most likely going to be president when I grow up, so I'm hopefully going to fulfill that. Yeah.
I love the aspirations. Thank you very much.
Great job,
Thank you.
ladies. Great job.
All right, Brian, now we're at the highlight video.
Yes, Mr. President, we're very proud to present the November Student Limelight recipient. So we'll play the highlight video and we'll introduce you to our student.
Faber Elementary is proud to introduce this month's Boerne ISD Limelight recipient, Alex Barnes. Alex is a 5th grade student who exemplifies being a model Falcon. He has earned the title of self-manager due to his positive attitude and determination that he carries each day. Alex shows up every day with an infectious smile and is a shining example of positivity in our classrooms and across the school. He works incredibly hard academically, is quick to include others, and puts forth 100% effort in all that he does. Alex serves as a member of the Faber KFES Daily News Crew and is an active participant in the Green Machine Run Club. His determination and dedication are a great example for other members. Outside of school, Alex is a black belt in karate and a rock star on the drums as he is showcased in the school talent show. Congratulations to this month's Limelight recipient, Faber Elementary 5th grade student, Alex Barnes.
I now like to welcome up who you just met, Alex Barnes. Come on up, Alex. Let's give Alex a great hand. And y'all have any questions for Mr. Barnes?
Tell us about being on the news team.
It's a really fun opportunity to basically just like the weather forecast for today, or
So give us the weather forecast for today. What did you do today? How did you deliver that?
like a high of 55 and a low of 50. The UV index is 2, which means low. And then the forecast for tomorrow is like partly cloudy, so you might want to bring a raincoat. Thank you, bye. Oh no, not raincoat, but...
That is awesome.
Alex, when you interview people, how do you prepare questions for them?
Well, I haven't interviewed a lot of people. Well, basically, I just basically ask questions like based off of things they do. Basically, like if they do trumpet, I ask like, why do you like trumpet? Like, why do you like doing that?
Is there someone you'd like to interview?
There's a lot of people. But maybe a couple of my friends.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
So I think middle school is one of the most exciting times of all of your school career. Can you tell us what you're most excited about for going to middle school soon?
Band and track.
Nice. What instrument do you play?
Drums.
Awesome.
I saw you doing karate. How long have you been doing that?
Yes, so I've been doing that ever since kindergarten. So that's 5 years.
World karate?
Yes.
You might know my son, Mr. Grant.
Wait. Grant?
Yeah, he's an instructor there.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Good. Well, keep up the hard work. You're an inspiration. You've got a big career and big life ahead of you.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you on TV giving us the weather forecast. Wouldn't it be exciting?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. We will move on to visitor comments and testimonials. We do have some speakers signed up tonight, so I'll kind of open this up with the public comment segment. So the board encourages comments about the district from citizens of the district or from district employees. Anyone wishing to speak, either as an individual or as a representative of a group, may do so at this time. The board asks that each participant's comments pertain to public education and be no longer than 3 minutes, so the overall time limit for comments is 30. Remember that the board may not discuss or act upon any issues that are not posted on our agenda. If an issue mentioned is listed on tonight's agenda, the board will defer discussion of the issue until the appropriate time during the meeting. The board encourages the public to discuss concerns with an appropriate administrator who has the authority to address the concerns. Concerns should be expressed as soon as possible to allow for resolution at the lowest possible administrative level. Finally, please be aware that rules of decorum will be enforced during the public comment period and throughout the meeting. Disruptive behavior will not be tolerated, and those who choose to engage in disruptive behavior may be asked to leave. Each participant is legally responsible for the content and consequences of his or her own statements. Our first speaker tonight is Jason Cohn. Mr. Cohn?
Hello, thanks for giving me time. My name is Jason Cohn. My wife and I, Tiffany is my wife's name, we moved to the Boerne area 21 years ago, and we've had the pleasure of raising 3 kids in this awesome town. Our third, our last, is currently a senior in high school, meaning we're this close to escaping, right? So I've come here because I wanted to say 2 things to you, and I wanted to show you the respect of doing it in person. One is a observation that I have, and another is a compliment that I think you guys deserve, and they go together. So here's my observation. It seems to me that we live in the greatest country in the world. I would say we live in the greatest country in the history of the world. And it also seems to me that we live in the best state in that country. I mean, you have to say the state of Texas is the best state in America. And it seems furthermore to me that we might live in the best town in that state. And that's this town, Boerne, right? So if you put it all together, what does that mean? That means that we live, us, in the best town, in the best state, in the best country, in the history of mankind. I'm telling you right now, we are the pinnacle of human civilization right here in Boerne, Texas, right? So one might ask oneself, what makes a community so great? And I think the answer is how a community cares for, educates, trains up, guards, and loves its children, right? And I think we do that really well in this town. I've lived a lot of places, and there's no place like Boerne, and I think that's because of, and here's the compliment, you. I think it's because of you and what you represent, the staff and the teachers and the coaches and the administration and you, Dr. Price. What you guys have done for this community can hardly be articulated. And I just wanted to let you know, one random dad in this town with 3 kids who didn't even go to your schools. My kids went to Geneva, made possible because of the greatness of this school district and the guardianship, the bulwark that you act as, the stronghold that you are for our families and our children. So I just have this to say, thank you for the time and the energy and the effort and the argument and the problem solving and the love that you show our community through our children. I know it's hard, and I just wanted to say God bless you, and may God bless this great community. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Cohn. Our next speaker is Sophia Snocki. I tried.
Hello, my name is Sophia Shinaki. I'm 16 years old and currently a junior at Champion High School. I would like to start off by thanking Dr. Price and the members of the BISD board for extending an invitation for me to speak. Just looking at me or even listening to me speak, you wouldn't be able to see it. But my life is vastly different from yours. This is because on September 7th, 2017, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. At the time, I was just another 5th grader attending Kendall Elementary School. I had no idea my life was about to be flipped upside down. Before my diagnosis, my family didn't know about type 1 diabetes, and you may not either, so let me briefly lay it out. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease that affects insulin production in the pancreas. This means that I need insulin daily to survive, and blood sugar regulation is necessary, whether that be through insulin shots, an insulin pump, or a continuous glucose monitor, which measures and helps me regulate my blood sugar. As of right now, there's no current cure. When I was diagnosed, all these new ways of keeping me alive was a heavy weight to carry for just a 10-year-old. And I started to hide my diabetes, pretend it didn't exist. This was not only bad for my physical health, but for my emotional and my social health. I didn't want to tell friends or teachers, and I would constantly be ashamed of my diabetes and try to hide it. That is, until I found JDRF, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, a nonprofit organization aimed at creating a safe space for type 1 diabetics while fundraising to promote studies for a cure. JDRF connected me with the networks of diabetics, not only my age, but of all ages. Seeing other people with my disease helped me understand that I wasn't alone. They helped me go from someone who never wanted her friends to know about her diagnosis to someone willing to share her story with everyone, including state representatives in Washington, D.C. In the U.S., 0.55% of people are diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Applied to Boerne ISD, that would be an estimated 60 students with type 1 and almost 3 at every campus. At Champion alone, there are 11 type 1 diabetics. And as I reflect on my diagnosis, I think of the kids who are like me, reserved and ashamed of their condition. As I approach my senior year, I want to leave the support in Boerne that was given to me by JDRF. With the help of the BISD school board, we can create awareness for type 1 district-wide. Similar to the gold out held, across schools for cancer, a blowout day accompanied with a fundraiser in November, as it is Diabetes Awareness Month, and Diabetes Awareness Day would be a legacy I would be proud to have planted the seeds for. To be speaking to you today, the day before National Diabetes Day tomorrow, November 14th, an insignificant day to many people, but to type 1 diabetics, I am beyond proud. And it's a step in the right direction. I believe that we are close to a cure for type 1 diabetes, and this kind of progress requires community support and funding for research. Thank you for allowing me to advocate for something I believe in so strongly, and I hope that I will have your support in the future to create awareness for something that not only affects the students in this district, but their parents, teachers, and this entire community, along with people all over the world. Thank you.
Man. Thank you, Sophia. Thanks for your leadership there, and definitely a great advocate for JDRF. Our next speaker is Ellen Michaelis. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Ellen McCandless, the president of Champion High School's branch of the National FCCLA organization, which stands for Family, Career, and Community Leaders America. Many of you may be familiar with Future Homemakers America, which changed its name in 1999 to FCCLA. It is an organization dedicated to community betterment and prioritizing family values. Today, I stand before you to express our sincere gratitude for your unwavering support. Your continuous backing has allowed our club to thrive, making a meaningful impact on our school community and the lives of individuals over the past 24 years of Boerne ISD's FCCLA's existence. Reflecting on the school year, I want to share just some of our highlights for the service projects undertaken by FCCLA and its dedicated members. FCCLA makes it a mission to conduct and participate in a service project each month throughout the school year and makes it a requirement for members to participate in 3 total service projects, 2 donation and 1 hands-on. We commenced this year with our annual 3-part service project in October, involving the Country Bend subdivision. Members created and decorated cards which were delivered to the subdivision a week prior to our follow-up project in order to communicate our upcoming efforts. The week after the cards were delivered, members collected canned goods and other preserved goods left out by the subdivision for a canned food drive. These items were then delivered to Hill Country Daily Bread, from where they were distributed to families in need in the community area and surrounding. Moving on to February, which is a significant month for the FCCLA as it hosts National FCCLA Week. This week is packed with service opportunities, including fact-finding for our national program theme, FACTS, or Family Acting for Community Traffic Safety. Members create posters displaying these facts to raise awareness of traffic safety and better driving practices. During the week, Officer Mooring will be a guest speaker at our February meeting, sharing insights related to the national program theme. The week also includes a tradition of pie baking around Valentine's Day, expressing gratitude towards our champion staff members and everyone at the central office. FCCLA members and officers wake up early on the 14th and 15th to bake and deliver these pies to teacher workroom and the central office. In my 5 years with FCCLA, 4 of which I proudly served as an officer, the impact on my life has been profound. This club has been more than an extracurricular, has been a transformative journey shaping my identity. FCCLA provided invaluable opportunities for school and community involvement, fostering a deep appreciation for what I've been given. Through service projects and leadership roles, I've learned the importance of empathy, collaboration, and effective leadership. FCCLA has not only influenced my present, but has instilled a commitment to making a positive difference in the world around me. Looking ahead, I'm excited to see what FCCLA will accomplish, and I know that it all could not have been possible without your help. So again, I thank you not only for your support for FCCLA, but also your dedication to a future of growth, collaboration, and success for all Boerne ISD schools and clubs. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. And the 4th speaker, is it Mackenzie Bush? Madeline Bash. Okay, I'm sorry. Madeline Bash. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Madeline Bash, and I'm currently president of the Champion High School Skills USA Architecture Club. I'd like to take this time to thank you for the ongoing support of our club and to explain what exactly you are supporting. Skills USA motto is preparing for leadership in the world of work. In our monthly chapter meetings, we provide our members with leadership tips and many opportunities to provide service and to be a leader in their own community in and out of school. This year, we have grown our club from 17 members to 48 members and have reached out to almost twice as many residents in Boerne to provide our services to. The architecture pathway has also grown tremendously in the past 4 years I've been enrolled. The students and I are incredibly honored to call Miss Graves our advisor and teacher, with her being a National Kitchen and Bath Association affiliate. We are one of the few schools in the U.S. with access to those resources. As a senior in the practicum course with an internship at City Hall in the City Planning and Code Enforcement Department, I can see the transformations that the Skills USA Architecture Club has brought to Boerne. Currently, we have completed our Coleman King Decoration Service project, and we have cleaned the flower beds in the front of the CHS campus for the Veterans Day ceremony. Along with our Veterans Day project, we have also begun our first ever fundraiser of selling socks and donating the proceedings to disabled veterans. Looking forward to the year, we will be designing Christmas cards to donate to a local retirement home, providing food for blessings in a backpack, and constructing birdhouses around the campus, along with participating in Habitat for Humanity. As a member of 4 years and an officer for 2, this club has taught me what it means to be a leader, how to communicate with others, and to truly think outside the box like an actual architect. I'd like to thank you again for the continuous support and sponsoring of our future events. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. I got it right that time, Madeline. Appreciate everyone addressing the board tonight. What a great celebration of all the success of our students and the coaches and teachers that take them places, and then the representatives that we have on our campuses. Next item on the agenda would be the approval of the agenda. Anyone have any changes?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the agenda.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next item is consider action, if any, regarding items discussed in closed session, and I don't believe there are any, so we'll skip that. Move on to the consent agenda. Any items in the consent agenda that anyone wants to pull or discuss? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, consent agenda is approved. And we will move on to governance and do board member reports. Maritza, do you want to start on your side today?
Sure. Let's see, with the Boerne Education Foundation, we actually have our meeting coming up this Wednesday. So we are gearing up for our Purse Mania event in a couple of weeks. So we're super excited about that. I think we've almost sold out of tickets, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you all for your support as always. If anyone would love to donate a purse, we will gladly take it. And I think some preliminary items have been worked on for Rock On, which will be held in March. Okay, March 23rd. At the Kendall County Equestrian Center. So I know that they've already started planning that, and we're excited about that as usual, since that's our huge gala. So just something to mark on your calendars. Thank you.
Thanks, Maritza. Jessica had to depart. Her daughter's not feeling well. So, Garrett?
Yeah, so the Finance Committee met this last week, and we got a presentation from Weaver, who's our auditor for our annual financials. So just to kind of give a rundown of their findings there, they did issue an opinion of unmodified. So that's a good thing, where basically they look at all of our financials and say that there's nothing there that they would change. There's no material differences between what they found and what was actually in the financials. So that's really good. No material weaknesses, significant deficiencies, none of that. That was the same on the federal awards and grants. We were unmodified there as well with no weaknesses. So I think we were proud of that result, and that was the summary of the financial meeting.
Great. Anything else? Mr. Senna?
Just an update on legislative updates. I think everyone's aware that we're in the 4th special session of the Texas legislature, not the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, the 4th, and there could be a few more. Just a brief recap of the 5 priorities that we adopted for the 88th legislative session last August when we adopted them. 4 have gone through. One was advocating for sustainable property tax relief, and between what the legislature passed in the summer session, as well as what the voters approved recently, there's been a record reduction in school property taxes. So that came through. We also advocated for fully funding the new facilities instruction allotment, which was budgeted for, and that'll help us when our elementary school, Viola Wilson, opens up. We asked for flexibility on House Bill 45, those requirements, and we also asked for a cost of living adjustment for retired teachers, and that was approved by the voters last week as well. What remains unapproved is our fifth one and would have the biggest financial impact on us, and that's an increase to the basic allotment as well as improving teacher pay. And there are different competing versions between the Senate and the House. I won't go through all the details, but Senate Bill 2 would increase the basic allotment from $6,160 to $6,235. That would have a minimal impact on our district. It would also fund a $3,000 retention allotment for teachers in districts over 5,000 students, which is what we are, 10,000 for districts below 5,000. And the challenge with that is that it does not differentiate between well-funded districts under 5,000 and remote rural districts, which really have low teacher pay. There's absolutely no distinction. So it creates new inequities and new imbalances in an effort to try to help those districts with low teacher pay. So that's obviously a concern to us. That's the Senate bill. The House bill, which was recently released at the beginning of the fourth special session, would increase the basic allotment. Instead of from $6,160, it would go to $6,700. Not this year, but next year. And that would have a dramatic impact on school districts across the state. What would be created this year is a $4,000 teacher retention bonus for this year alone, but then the increase in the basic allotment is felt would sustain that on an ongoing basis. And financial runs have been done, and I'm confident that would apply to our district, that we'd be able to maintain that. Both the Senate and the House have efforts to create what's called education savings accounts or vouchers. In any event, there are a lot of components of House Bill 1 in addition to the basic allotment increase. It increases spending for special education and some of the weights that create extra money beyond the basic allotment. It's a much more comprehensive view of school finance than what the Senate put together, and I think that was done in an effort to get some rural state reps who previously were against ESAs to possibly switch their votes. So we'll see what they do. We'll see how it goes. The governor has said if education savings accounts or vouchers is not included in any bill from the fourth session, he'll call a fifth session and then a sixth session until he gets what he wants. And so what the House has done is frankly put a lot of money, and you'll hear some criticisms that under no circumstances should districts should legislators approve vouchers, and that's certainly not our top priority, far from it. But when you add up all the increased state commitment to public ed between the basic allotment, curriculum and materials instructional allotment, the new instructional facilities allotment, the increase in aid to the TRS system to help keep premiums down, it's about an 11, not in this biennium, but in the next biennium, it's about an $11 to $12 billion commitment in increased funding for public ed. And that's huge. That's never been done before. So that tells you there's some folks that really want those $500 million in vouchers. They really want it. And they're willing to spend 11 to 12 billion to get it. So we'll see what happens. We've certainly communicated our desire to see an increase in the basic allotment and teacher pay. And recently, Christy, myself, and 3 others, we visited every single legislator office at the state capitol to promote that, because that's what we believe in. And we'll fight for it, and we'll just continue to fight. That's kind of an update.
Christy?
Thank you. Yes, I have a program evaluation committee update. Dr. Price and Ms. Flores reviewed with the committee the new course and current course initiative recommendations for the 24-25 school year. The courses recommended are due to changes in science learning standards, TEA required for P-TECH graduates, or to further align CTE programs of study. All recommendations were reviewed and vetted through campus and district leadership prior to seeking board approval. The committee also reviewed the recently finalized TEA CTE program of study refresh and the changes that are needed for BISD to continue to offer innovative courses and programs for students. So excited about the new courses coming up. Thank you, Ms. Flores.
In the same meeting, we had a joint meeting with technology committee as well. Just a couple quick notes on that. Really, one of the main things we talked about was a device refreshing all of our equipment across the district. You know, one thing I think some people were a little confused on, since we just recently had a bond, and one of the propositions for that was for technology. I think some folks thought like, oh great, we're going to get all new technology. That bond was not remotely big enough to buy everybody shiny new stuff, but we do have, you know, devices effectively one-to-one for everybody in the district, and really working on a plan to make sure that in the future we're not chasing after that anymore, that we're planning for it ahead of time, make sure that we can get the right devices. And that's not just, you know, your standard carts in the room. We have CTE that needs a lot of special, not a lot, there's not a ton of them, but to do their job effectively need, you know, special software, special computers and things like that. So then making sure we should have a good system so we don't lose track of any of that, instead of chasing it, can be in front of it. So that's it.
Awesome, thank you. I think the only other committee that met, we had a quick facilities committee meeting last week as well. Kind of talked about an overview of all of the 22 bond projects that are ongoing or getting ready to start. Everything still remains on schedule and within budget. So thank you, Mark and team, for that. And then following that, there's a strategic facilities planning focus group. I get all that right? That we've now had a couple of meetings of, before we start a new facilities long-range planning committee, just to kind of narrow down what the top priorities are, how we want to teach versus what the buildings need to look like. So it's a good group, probably 20-25 people in that group sharing their expertise and ideas. So I think that was the last of the committee meetings. So we'll move.
I can just give a quick PTO update, because we probably won't meet again until February. Dr. Price and I met with all the PTO presidents last Friday, and Dr. Price gave an update for the district. Thursday is Pie Day, so we'll be distributing pies to the central office here. All the PTOs will be bringing pies here. Also, we'll be delivering them to maintenance and transportation. CHS provided a luncheon, Champion provided a luncheon last month for the academy, and Boerne High School will be providing a lunch this month for the academy.
And there's one more thing that I forgot to mention, since we were talking about facilities, was just wanted to thank, we had the Boerne Blaze folks up here earlier, all of our support staffs, particularly all the different departments, Mark and your folks did an amazing job, heard lots of stuff from people that were involved, just how really blown out of the water what they were on, how much support they got from the district and able to use the facilities and being able to promote it. And I just think it's a really great thing that we were able to help, and y'all did an outstanding job. So please just pass along our thanks to all your staff and employees.
Awesome. With that, we'll move on to reports, and Dr. Price, Superintendent.
Okay, so first, I want to admit you caught me off surprise. I'm very surprised. Usually I can pick up when things are going to happen, and I don't know where I was. I can tell you I woke up today realizing this was my last board meeting, and it was a mixture of relief in some ways, because this is always my day that I worry, are we going to project the things that we need to project to the community to get them to understand what we really do. And as y'all have talked up here about your committees, one of the things a lot of folks think is that board members show up once a month and that's it. And the reality, you are a working group, and it shows. But the other thing I woke up with, the dread part, is that I realized I've been working since I was 12, so that's about 50 years. What am I going to do when it's over? I think I can keep busy and enjoy, but I want you to know, been in a lot of different school districts, enjoyed every place I've been. I don't know how you found some of those people. I had to look at the names because I didn't know who they were up there. And that's not just some of the people in the district. So it was very touching. But this is the best place. Mr. Cohn, I wish he was still here because, man, he took my speech. I don't need to say anything. You hear me say all the time, this is the best place, and it is the best place because of the people. And I think it's the best place also because it's not just one person. It's not just me. It is all of us, and it never can become one person. When we talk about strategic planning and we talk about where we want to be, I always use the little story that I could go with a couple of people in a corner and come up with a plan in 10 minutes. But unless we want it to stick, it's got to be all of us. And one of the things we do real well is making sure it's not focused on one coach, one teacher, one superintendent, one board member. It really is about all of us. And earlier tonight, it's remarkable, of the 4 speakers we had, 3 were our students. And wow, they managed to get 3 minutes in almost exactly this time. That's impressive. But 2 of those, in those programs, FCCLA and Skills USA, the number of certifications that these children are receiving, workforce where they can, their teachers are teaching them, getting those certifications where they can go from high school to either college or straight to the workforce. It's remarkable. And tonight, later on, you're going to hear Larissa talk about our studies that we're adding. And one of the things, we've gotten 2 early colleges, but one of the things she shared today, and sorry I'm going to steal this from you, is we are working with Alamo College, and Alamo College is going to help us set up our medical field study where our children can graduate with a registered nurse, not just an LVN, a registered nurse. That's remarkable. I mean, you're talking $80,000 to $100,000 job walking into. And that is our biggest group of students right now, and we don't even have this really lined out. Our medical fields is our biggest group study. And one of the things that we're working on that we've talked about is we don't need to just stop at what we're doing now. We know we have a lot of our students who graduate and don't know what to do next. And so Elaine and I have been working with Alamo College, and we almost ready to bring you an MOU for down there, the OCO, which we're calling the Mitchell Learning Center now. And we are going to start with technology training, where they can earn their A+ certifications, where again they can continue and go out. It's needed in this community, and they can earn a living. And that's going to grow into other areas that we can do. So those aren't just one person, those are many of us working together with a vision about where we can go. So tonight, whenever y'all surprised me, and what's funny is it did touch my heart, but I did at the same time got something in my eye. It took me 30 minutes to get out. So it really played into really well the time. I want to thank all of you because been through some good places, tough places. I never ever dreamed I'd be able to be here in Boerne, and most of you know the story. I tried to come here a few years ago, didn't work out, and then when it came open again, had the opportunity, tried again. Perseverance is important, and I could never truly have dreamed of being in such a great place. I knew Boerne was wonderful, but this past 7 years, even through COVID, even through some of the disagreements we've had in the community as we in the world are trying to struggle over different values, would not trade being anyplace else. And A lot of that is you, 7 people that have allowed me to do my job, allowed me to be part of the community, and I'm very proud of you. And I know that you have worked extremely hard over the last month to get to a point on Wednesday to name someone. And you've done a lot of prayers, you've done a lot of struggling, a lot of discussion, and that person's going to be successful because you're going to give them the same tools you gave me. And thank you for that. Because my grandchildren, hopefully, will be here to enjoy it. So thank you very much for that. Other things real quick. I want to update you on, you mentioned the bond. Again, operations is doing wonderful, wonderful things. Pool's headed in the right direction. 75%, maybe 80% is in design or build at this point. We should be done with the majority by opening of school next year. And whatever else is not finished by spring of 25 will be completely finished. And so that's a wonderful, wonderful, especially right now with inflation, where we're going to be able to do it all as we promised. And that's remarkable. And those who are interested, we have a super website that you can go and visit. It's updated weekly as we go through, and they're doing a great job with that. Believe it or not, that's all I have, except once again, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. It's been a fun 7 years.
Arlene,
And
if I
we're
could
excited.
If I could just interject something. You know, there'll be more chances, Tommy, for us to say our goodbyes and our appreciation. But I also wanted to extend appreciation to your significant other. Donna has been, I don't know if you call the superintendent's wife the first lady, or I don't know, but she's been queen. But, you know, when we interviewed you and we met Donna, it was like, okay, he's an even better candidate, because it was just a pleasure to get to know her. And she's been a great volunteer in the community, in several organizations, and a rock behind you. And that's just greatly appreciated. Just want to let you know that.
Well, the biggest disappointment was to look up there and see 5 people I love and care about, because I have them convinced these are such hard nights, and they got to see nothing but celebrations the whole time. So they're thinking I'm lying to them this 37 years about how difficult board meetings are sometimes. So you kind of pulled the veil from in front of their eyes.
Well, thank you for being here too. And as Rich said, we'll see you several more times as we get to say our goodbyes or happy retirement, not goodbyes because you're not leaving. So next, we're going to move on to instruction, early childhood programs report.
Good evening. My name's Renee Munn. I'm the Director of Early Child Learning. And I will say it's really hard to come after all of these commendations, celebrations, hearing students speak, the video of Dr. Price, but I'm going to do my best because it is a firm reminder about if we do things well in the early grades, all the success that can come later. So, Mr. President, Dr. Price, members of the board, thank you for allowing me to share some information about what we have going on in the early grades. This is an item of information. As always, this is an investment in our students, the work that we do in the early grades, and the benefits that will pay off as our children advance in their academic career. In pre-K, we have nearly 200 little bitties in our program. We have pre-K at all of our campuses. So each campus has at least 2 pre-K classrooms. We have both English classrooms and our Spanish bilingual classrooms, as well as 1 specialty unit. Our pre-K programs are mixed with state-eligible 4-year-olds, early childhood special education students. We call those ECSE for short. And then we also have our tuition-based employee children who are 3 and 4 years old. To give you a little bit of context and stats, about half of our student population is state qualified, about 13% are tuition-based, and about 37% qualify as early childhood special education students. Of those who are state eligible, we have a lot of different ways that a student can qualify. Often a lot of our kids are qualifying in multiple areas, but as a context for primary eligibility, the majority of our children are emergent bilinguals or EBs, and then the secondary eligibility would be military. So we are right up against the military city of San Antonio. So we do have a lot of military connected students that enjoy our program and benefit from those services. Our goals. We are preparing our students for kindergarten and beyond. We focus on readiness skills that are going to best prepare them for college, career, military readiness. And we know that the best way to do that is inquiry-based learning. So we are really building our program in pre-K to give children an opportunity to be critical thinkers, problem solvers, use their imagination, creativity through building communication and collaboration. A lot of the activities that our children do are going to be open-ended activities. Think about it in terms of like when you've bought maybe a child a Lego set. Legos are fantastic. I've stepped on them a million times at home into the dark at 3 a.m. They hurt. But when we give kids a Lego set, there's directions. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and you finish the product and it matches the box. That's an important skill for kids to learn. We don't want to take that away, but what we want to do is add more options for creativity and problem solving. So we might give kids different scenarios, different things through play that have multiple ways to finish, open-ended materials. That allows children to think critically, kind of go through that productive struggle, and think of new ways to solve whatever it is that they're creating. I want to share a few things about what we're doing to build foundational literacy skills in our early grades. As part of our HB3 requirement, we are tasked with ensuring that we have an explicit and systematic phonics curriculum resource for our students so that all students are provided a high quality instructional experience that results in very strong readers. We know that students who are strong in reading are going to have more opportunities, more chances of being successful across all content. We started that process a couple of years ago in first grade. Our teachers at the time were going through reading academies. We implemented a new curriculum resource in that first grade, followed that up the next year in kinder and second. This year, we have the phonics resource in third grade, and additionally, we're piloting an advanced phonics word study morphology, the meanings of words, in fourth and fifth grade at 2 of our campuses. The feedback that we've gotten has been really phenomenal. I will tell you, recently I was talking to one of our principals who shared that a student in fifth grade, after going through one of the lessons, approached his teacher and shared how much he had learned through that lesson and that process, and how thankful he was that he understood the meanings behind some word parts. Teaching kids how to decode words or how to read words, the meanings behind parts of words are really linked to, I always think of like the SAT, because there is so much of understanding the language built into our advanced academic assessments. So that's something that we're very, very proud of. And then, of course, we're also proud of our teacher who's wearing a special jersey, Dr. Price. I don't know if you noticed that. Just saying. I know Mrs. Flores last month shared some progress monitoring data. One of our universal screeners that we use is MClass. It is a universal screener to measure students' success or lack thereof in early reading skills. There's a variety of subtests that really isolate down specific reading skills that students need to master in order to be really good at reading. These subtests take about a minute apiece, but they will isolate strengths, weaknesses. We use that information to plan instruction, to plan small group, to plan intervention. What's great about this particular resource that we're using, it will also provide teachers with lesson plans and a collection of materials required in order to provide intervention in small group. And it additionally provides students with progress monitoring so that if we do serve students in small group, that we can follow that up with some quick measurements to see did that instruction improve the outcome. So those things are really important for our young grades, that we try to fix things early so that the gaps don't persist. I wanted to share a few of our professional learning opportunities that our teachers in the early grades have been participating in. As you know, we have an instructional program, a coaching program at all of our campuses. So in particular at elementary, the opportunity to have that job embedded learning through PLCs or coaching cycles. We also have the Texas Reading Academies, all of our K through 3rd teachers, special education teachers, special teachers like interventionists, and then our campus administrators either have completed the Texas Reading Academies or are currently a cohort within the Texas Reading Academies, which they are learning very deeply that science of teaching reading. Additionally, through a dyslexia grant that our special education department applied for, we have a cohort of teachers going through language essentials for teachers of reading and spelling called LETTERS. And I know it's not spelled like the word letters, it's the acronym, one of many in our world, right? This is what we would call like a deep dive into the science of teaching reading. What's really fascinating about this is that it's a 2-year commitment, and we filled that cohort of 40 teacher placements with volunteers. So teachers had to apply and commit 2 years of time, 10 days each of the 2 years. In order to participate, they had to also have commitment and support from their campus administrator. And then we come together, we learn, there's online modules, we have face-to-face learning, a lot of time to collaborate and discuss, and I would think that it has been really a great opportunity for our teachers to take a really deep dive into literacy and how we help students.
You know, and one of the things that we all hear sometimes is that teachers don't want to do professional development, and I think that's a small minority, and also I think part of you giving choice and allowing them to pick, and I know that's something that Larissa and her group is doing during the Boerne U and encouraging. It really does show that our staff wants to learn and wants to grow.
Yes. We also have a partnership with the service center here locally. We're focused on pre-K and the learning environment and really building systematic and structured plans around how, as we grow as a district, how we want our pre-K to look and function and how we can continually improve our practices. We've done quite a bit in our dual language world, especially in the area of English language development, which is a time in which we bridge the 2 languages together, both English and Spanish. So this last year, our curriculum coordinator for bilingual programming ensured that all of our teachers had aligned resources, training, and follow-up support so that we could continue to develop both languages and have students leave that program biliterate. As part of the dyslexia grant, we were also able to get some intervention kits in the hands of kinder and first grade teachers, and so that if we have gaps, that we have multiple tools and resources to pull from, because not one size fits all. In addition, we have a math resource that we're using in our early grades. We have collectively had professional learning both in the summer and this fall on routines and best practices, followed up by support from our math coordinator. And summer wasn't too far behind us, but as we think about and reflect on 2023 summer, one of our summer enrichment programs was Jump Start, so I wanted to make sure to share with you a little bit about that experience. Principals chose students for this learning experience. It happens in late July, so that kids come into Jump Start, leave Jump Start right before school starts, and have this wonderful camp-like experience to help them build excitement. If they're new to the district, these are incoming kinder students or first grade students, they get more familiar with their building, more familiar with the staff on campus. It is a camp-like experience, so a lot of the learning is hands-on, a lot of the learning is play-based, but it does build a sense of community, starts to get kids back into the groove or introduced for the first time into some literacy, math, and STEM related experiences. So that's a really good question. We actually had Jump Start at all 7 elementaries. We felt that, and this is the third year, thank you, Mrs. Flores, third year that we've implemented this program. The first time it was a pilot at Cibolo Creek, and then the last 2 years, it was at all 7 elementaries, and we have about 15 or so per grade level at each campus, but we felt that it's important for kids to have that experience on their home campus so that they're familiar with that environment. I feel like that was a mad dash, but there's a lot of great things happening in our early grades, and I truly believe that what we're doing here is directly related to the success that we saw at the beginning of this board meeting, and I appreciate your time.
Any questions for Renee?
So how do you qualify for this? There's rules around that, right? Not just any family can put their kids in pre-K.
So if you're state eligible pre-K, there are criteria. There's a variety of criteria. It either could be income based, like free reduced lunch, SNAP, Medicaid. If you are current or former foster care in the state conservatorship, that would be a qualifier. Language, so emergent bilingual. Military connected, you would need to have a parent or caregiver in active duty with an assignment in order to qualify. And then there are some other ways through military injuries. So if you were on active duty and the parent or caregiver was injured while in active duty, that would be another way. There's the Star of Texas, which covers a lot of our first responders, and if they had a service member die in the line of duty, they can become eligible as Star of Texas recipients, and then their children would qualify as state eligible.
Now, how's the funding work on this? Where do we get the funding for it?
So a number of years ago, the state mandated that we move from a half-day pre-K to a full-day pre-K. That was across Texas. I'm not sure when Boerne actually made the transition, but it was before my time, which was January 2020. And so our funding is half-day for state-eligible ADA funds, and the other half-day comes from the early childhood allotment, which was born out of HB3.
Renee, you mentioned we have about 15 or 16 classes total, I think 3 emerging bilingual and 12 in English. Is it about like 12 to 15 kids per class? What's the average class size?
It varies. I will say at the beginning of the year, you may have had anywhere from 12 to 15 in a classroom. At this time of the year, because we do continually enroll kids as they either move into the district or they become eligible through services, we try to keep it around 18. as a cap.
You know, you mentioned the inquiry based. I was at Van Rob last week, and I was talking to a 4-year-old kid named Vincent, and this kid knew rectangles and triangles. They were playing with shapes. And I was amazed that a 4-year-old kid knew all that. I thought that was pretty good based on the games they were playing. And I've heard good things from a foster parent that their foster child was so excited about going to school as a kindergartner, having gone through jump starts. So they raved about it, which was good to hear.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much, Renee.
Thank you.
We'll move on to action items under governance. So the first item is consider nomination for TASB Board of Directors. You know, all of us, as part of our continuing education requirements, attend TASB conferences, State Summer Leadership Institute, and then the annual conference. And we get to see the progression of the board members there. And we have the opportunity to make a nomination for someone to sit on the TASB board. And quite shocking, we have someone who's interested in doing that. No, not shocking at all. Your love for students across the state is admirable. Rich is asked to be nominated, and I think it's a great choice. It could be representation highlighting Boerne, and certainly your knowledge to take to the table. So if there's any questions, or Rich, anything you want to say about the process? Or
Well, you know, it was about 3-4 years ago. I was in Leadership TASB, which is a training program, about 30 trustees from across the state. We got to visit school districts across the state, and it was really a great experience. We were in the Rio Grande Valley. We were in East Texas, in Tyler, where they have where the 2 high schools have a CTE facility that works with the 2 high schools. And you just see all these different programs across the state, and there's a lot of good stuff going on in public education in Texas, despite what you hear from some media sources. It's actually pretty inspirational, very inspirational. We have one of the highest graduation rates in the United States. We have either the first or second highest graduation rate of African American and Hispanic students. We have a lot more equity in terms of AP courses offered, taken, tested than a lot of other states. So anyway, I'm a big proponent of public ed, and I think this is simply a way to get involved, but also share our story in Boerne with other places in the state, because, you know, we're Chapter 49, so they assume that we have everything we need. And we're really a lot less funded than a lot of other places, most places in Texas. So I just think it's an opportunity to advocate for our district, other districts like us, and to have an impact, hopefully. We'll see.
I would say thank you for stepping up to do that. Anyone like to make a motion?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly motion to nominate Rich Sinna as a candidate to serve on the 2023 TASB Board of Directors.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, Rich. Good luck. I know we saw the application already, so you should be good to go. Next item is going to be instruction. Ms. Flores, on consider approval of new courses at the secondary level for the 24-25 school year.
Good evening, Mr. President, Dr. Price, and members of the board. Tonight I'll be bringing to you new courses for the 24-25 school year for approval. Of course, everything that we'll be discussing today ties directly to our scorecard, specifically for our college, career, and military readiness. Our new course request process begins in early October. All secondary campuses and the teaching and learning department submit recommendations for this process. Sometime in late October, we held a meeting to discuss and review all of those courses that were recommended. Part of the secondary leadership team is every secondary principal, academic dean, and lead counselor, as well as the teaching and learning department. Once the reviews have been conducted, then they make a recommendation to move forward to the executive leadership team, that Dr. Price is also involved with. There I review those courses, and there we discuss feasibility of courses. There we discuss staffing, facilities, etc. And so that brings me down to tonight and the list that I will be submitting to you for approval. After approval, then we update the course catalog. That will be brought to you again in January for approval. After that, our secondary students begin the course selection process for the 24-25 school year. I say all that to let you know that multiple people have viewed these courses and are highly recommending them. So we'll go ahead and get started. I think I can access that. We'll go ahead and bring that up. But the first course will be for our middle school. We are recommending Engineering Essentials for grade 8. This course will be the course we will use Project Lead the Way curriculum. A couple years ago, we implemented a STEM grade 6 and a STEM grade 7 class. This will be the continuation for those students, and this will bridge the gap between 7th grade and high school if they want to continue in an engineering pathway. Also, what's also great about this course, students, it is a high school credit course, and it's also weighted funding for the course. It's a CTE. For high school, we're recommending the discontinuation of 2 courses. One is Earth and Space Science, because TA is phasing this course out, and also Sports and Entertainment Marketing and Social Media Marketing. Due to the refresh that I will be going over in a few minutes from TEA, this course no longer aligns with any of our programs of study, and so even though it's very popular with the students, it really doesn't lead to anything. And plus, most of our marketing and management learning standards are embedded throughout all of business courses. There are 4 classes that we're asking for initiatives. Basically, these are current courses that we're asking to do a little bit something different with. The first one is we're asking to merge College Prep English with our English 4 class. College Prep English is a class for our seniors that are not TSIA ready. And so they take this course, and at the completion of this course, they are TSI ready. But right now, our students are having to take 2 separate courses. So our goal is to merge these 2 together, since the scope and sequence and learning standards are very much aligned. So instead of our students having to take 2 separate courses, we just want them to take 1. So they would be taking English on level 4, English 4 on level, as well as College Prep English.
This is the course that if you were to go to a junior college or to college and you weren't TSI ready, you'd have to take and pay to take. And so this cuts out that and allows our students to, like Larissa said, we used to do a standalone, now we're merging. And it gives them back a elective.
Exactly. The next initiative, we are asking to reinstate environmental science systems into the high school catalog for our Boerne Academy students only. This is the only upper level science course that is available through Odysseyware, which is the course platform in which our Boerne Academy students use. We're also asking for agricultural equipment design and fabrication. This is taught as a 2-hour course, but can be taught in a 1-hour course. So we're asking for the switch there. And for the next one, we're asking actually for the opposite. When it comes to culinary arts, we are currently teaching this 2-credit course in 1 hour, and we really need to teach it in order for the students to experience the full curriculum. Now, the new courses will be, first one is astronomy. This is replacing Earth and Space Science. This would be an on-level, upper-level science elective. We're also recommending UT On-Ramps Geoscience, Earth, Wind, and Fire, which will be the dual enrollment version of astronomy. We do currently have teachers at both campuses that can teach this On-Ramps course. The next couple of courses are anatomy and physiology. The College Board will be releasing an AP anatomy and physiology course to be implemented this next school year. So we currently have on-level A&P, which is very popular, so this will give our students the option for a more rigorous course. Also, we will have the dual credit anatomy and physiology, which we currently have a teacher who's almost ready at Boerne High School to teach this course. This is also going to be a requirement for our P-Tech Health Science. So as Dr. Price mentioned earlier, P-Tech Health Science, I mentioned to him this morning that we are very close to finalizing that crosswalk with San Antonio College. And we are looking at offering 2 associate's degrees, an Associates of Applied Science and one of Associates of Applied Science in Nursing. So upon our students' completion of the program, 18th birthday, and of course a background check, and they can sit for the exam and become a registered nurse. We're also working out where if they wanted to continue with San Antonio College for an additional 9 months, they would earn their bachelor's degree in nursing. Isn't that fantastic? It's wonderful. Our next course that we're asking to add is Introduction to Computer-Aided Design and Drafting. Again, this has to do with the TEA CTE refresh, that I'll be talking about in a few minutes. The next 2 courses also have to do with our P-Tech Cybersecurity, Digital Forensics, and of course the practicum. We are currently recruiting Northwest Vista instructors to teach that digital forensics, but those 2 classes will be required in the crosswalk for our P-Tech Cybersecurity students. The next one is very exciting, and this is very new for the state of Texas, Fundamentals of Real Estate. So there is a workforce deficit of real estate professionals, and so the industry is really recruiting young people to get into this business. A lot of people are retiring. And so, again, at the completion of this course, and upon students' 18th birthday, they can sit for the Texas Estate Real Estate exam and get certified. Exciting. And then our last course that we're recommending for approval is Advanced Floral Design, which we're hoping to revitalize our plant science program of study under Ag, and this will be a year 3 or 4 level course for our students to be completers and to earn an industry-based certificate. We can go back to the PowerPoint. Any questions on those courses that I discussed? Okay, so let me talk to you about the TEA Programs of Study refresh that was just finalized last month. And so I'm just going to highlight a couple of the programs of study that will affect us here in Boerne. Business, marketing, and finance. The state approves 5 programs of study, but here in Boerne, again, we only offer accounting and financial services. And there was currently no update to any of those courses. Entrepreneurship, there was no update to any of those courses, and now the real estate program of study. Over the last 4 years, we've kind of phased out management and marketing, again, because all of those learning standards are embedded throughout the program of study. And now we'll be introducing real estate. So this is what the program of study would look like for a student starting freshman year, Principles of Business, Marketing, and Finance. Then they can choose to take professional communication either their freshman or sophomore year. Their year 2 class would be financial math. Now as their junior year, they would take fundamentals of real estate. And then their 4th year is practicum, and we would connect them with a business partner in the community. And again, upon their 18th birthday, they can take the real estate sales agent license. We do have a teacher at Boerne High School that can currently teach this, and he himself is working on his real estate license, so works out. The next section is STEM. TEA is now really focusing more on the engineering and the information and technology portions of engineering. So our first program of study here, our students will start with the Introduction to Engineering Design. Then the second year, which it will be the ICAD class, the Computer Aided Design and Drafting. They will continue with engineering science and or engineering design and development. That would lead to a practicum. And that is the Autodesk Associate is one IBC that's possible for those students.
And this is an example. Remember a few years back, we got a little bit of pushback because we stopped calling welding. Ag mechanics is what we called it. we explained then it wasn't us. This is what TEA was doing. This is another example of that, and it's just TEA.
For information technology, we have two strands here in Boerne ISD. A student can either choose to go programming, software, and design, or our now esports program of study, which is exciting. So first year would be fundamentals of computer science, which we currently offer at 8th grade at all of our middle schools. Then year 2, that's when the student will have to decide, do I go the program route or do I go the esports route? Because that's the class that would decide. So they would either take computer science or game programming and design, which was approved last year, but will be implemented this next school year. Then they will continue with AP computer science and of course a practicum. And those are just a couple of the IBCs that a student can earn in that program of study. For education and training, again, principles of human services we offer at the 8th grade at all of our middle schools. Then the student will continue with child development, and then in year 3 they would need to decide whether they want to go the teaching and training route or the early for preschool learning route. So there they would decide which class, either instructional practices or child guidance, and then of course continue that with a practicum in education or early learning. The IBCs possible there would be an educational aide upon graduation, early childhood education and care, and a child development associate. Yes, absolutely.
Larissa, any idea of how many kids are in that pathway?
For education and training, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I can get them for you.
That would be great.
Okay.
Hopefully it's a lot, because we need.
It's not our number 1, I can tell you that. It's probably like number 3.
It's okay. I mean, but we need future teachers.
Number 1's medical.
It's health science, yes. And then our last one for ag, food, and natural resources, our students will start with the principles of AF&R freshman year, then they can go into floral design, horticulture science, and of course that's where that advanced floral design fits in as a year 4 course. And those are the possible certificates our students can earn. And that is all I have as far as new courses and recommendations for initiatives. At this time, I humbly ask for your approval.
I don't have a question. I just have one quick comment. I know some of this is driven by just different changes in the state, but I really appreciate, one, always all the work that goes into it, but 2, it seems like there's a lot more opportunities, particularly in CTE, to get certifications across a wide variety of things. And I think it's one of the most important things we can do is give these kids something that they can show for their work and turn into a paycheck later on. Those certs are just very important, and yes, really appreciate the opportunity for our kids to get them.
Absolutely.
Do you gauge the kids' interests for some of these? And
we do that very early in the middle school. Okay. So we just completed our middle school rounds to the high school. So all the 8th graders went to go see both high schools. They got to take a tour of the campus and all the facilities. And so our CCR teachers at the 8th grade really do a really great job of educating our kids on our different opportunities.
Oh, looks great. Thank you.
If there's no other questions, I entertain a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Flores. Mr. Babcock. Consider approval of the 2024-2027 District Technology Plan.
Good evening, President Fryer, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Price. Tonight I'm going to be going over the technology update. I'm covering 2 topics, the bond update, and then I'll cover our progress towards developing a technology plan for your approval tonight. So Bond 22 had 2 propositions in it. Proposition 1 was for $9.2 million, and it covered a variety of technology equipment in the campuses. You can see the progress there on the different projects, from the audiovisual, mostly complete with that. The data center, about 75% complete. We're going to be having some projects come to fruition and completed over the summer and into the fall, and the rest of those that you see there. And then the Proposition 2 had devices as part of that bond proposition for $3 million, and we're about 33% complete on that. This slide breaks down that project more clearly. We've completed quite a bit of that project. This project is really split between providing devices to the current facilities as well as providing devices for the new construction facilities and additions. You can see with Chromebooks, we've added a significant number there, and we've ordered additional ones to be delivered to the campuses listed. Laptops, we've already provided 200 laptops to employees. And we've got another 110 on order. Those will replace older teacher laptops. Followed by, we deployed iPads from K through 1 grade, in about 15 per classroom. And then we've also deployed new desktop computers to office staff. The next item I'd like to discuss is our technology plan. This was a large project to undertake. We really wanted a plan to establish that vision for technology so that we have long-term objectives documented, and we have that roadmap outlined to guide us in our decision-making for technology, as well as having a recurring iterative process to where we're having this collaboration with various stakeholders on how we want to continually refine that plan. This project started in May, and then it's concluded just in our meeting last week with various activities that it undertook to get us to where we are. Some of the larger activities were, we had an admin retreat activity where we had district leaders provide what's working, what's not working so well, and what gaps exist, followed by our technology walkthroughs. Our technology team walked through every classroom, every library, every room really, and every campus with a rubric to score our progress on technology and where the needs existed. We also had a district-wide staff survey where the staff had the opportunity to provide additional feedback. And that concluded with all that data being presented to our District Technology Advisory Council. We had 4 meetings. The first one was co-hosted by a representative from the Texas Education Agency. And so here today I'm presenting the technology plan for approval. The Technology Advisory Council had a large number of individuals involved in that process. We had 68 attendees over those 4 meetings. You can see the breakdown here. It was really an effort to get collaboration on all of our technology needs in the district. And we had a significant number of students, teachers, district leaders, and campus leaders present, as well as some community members. So the goal there was really to listen, to understand their needs and their challenges, and to develop a plan that would work for our community, for our schools, for our staff, and trying to reduce the burden that may exist and trying to solve some of the challenges, and develop that long-term plan so that we can continuously grow and meet the needs as technology changes. So here's some highlighted items from that plan. The plan is included in your packet, the full plan. The full plan includes about 5 goals, 13 strategies, and 74 action items, but I've summarized some of the highlights here. The first one is providing devices for each student in all classrooms. Right now we have over 10,000 devices in the district. But having the devices inside the classroom at all times would simplify the sharing challenges that have with sharing carts. A lot of our classrooms do have one-to-one devices in them, but some classes share. And as the curriculum changes and the demand for technology on the day-to-day learning process grows, it's important that we plan ahead and get those devices implemented as the need for them continues to grow. Along with the devices, and the technology, software, and learning tools. There's a big need to continually increase that training for those devices, and for the various stakeholders. So not just staff and students, but the committee also has a desire to continually provide opportunities for parents to have similar training so that they can help support the students from home on those technology applications and software. Another highlight is the refining the digital citizenship program. We have a very good quality digital citizenship program here, but there are some gaps, and so the committee has identified some of those gaps and some of the stakeholder groups to try to continuously expand that, and that's to ensure that all students have a strong understanding of responsible use of computers and the internet. And as technology changes, it's always important to continue to refine that program so we can stay on top of ensuring students have that awareness. The next topic was enhancing campus cyber safety and cybersecurity practices. Within those areas, that includes refresh cycles, right, for some of our security systems, like our cameras. Cyber safety, continually train campus staff on cyber safety. K through 12 institutions are becoming more and more targets of cybersecurity attacks, and so it's important that we continuously train our staff on cyber safety and have in place cybersecurity practices to continually provide the tools for protecting the district and the data it possesses. Identify tech support and infrastructure needs. So with all these devices and trying to reduce the burden on the instructional time period to where we can respond quicker, we can respond more prepared to address technology needs as they arise, as well as the infrastructure needs. It was wonderful to come on board 6 months ago and realize that you guys had passed a bond 2022, which had a significant number of projects for the infrastructure. Well, as we know, that's going to have to continue as a cyclical update on that equipment as the equipment ages and technology changes. And the last highlighted item is expanding student practicum opportunities. We started a student practicum program in our department, the technology department, where we've just recently fulfilled 5 students' positions on that practicum, to where they'll be working one-on-one with our technicians, one-on-one with our various support groups in the department, covering all different specialties from network to cybersecurity to end user support, to give students that opportunity to have that experience, invaluable experience, as well as provide additional support for our department to help ensure we're able to respond quickly and efficiently to the support demands of our district. So this is a cost estimate summary of the technology plan, with sustaining the existing equipment that we currently have in place, with that cyclical refresh cycle being over the next several years. We're going to have to replace some of that equipment as it ages, as well as the technology plan as it is written has some additional new equipment to give additional devices in classrooms, to have devices in every classroom, as well as there's projects in there such as increasing cell phone reception in the school facilities, and then we forecasted those sustainability costs out into all the way up to 2030. Some costs that are not included in there that we identified as part of this assessment was generators for network rooms in the legacy campuses. Majority of the newer facilities have generators that can power the network rooms, which really run all the communication systems in the building. as well as network room air conditioning systems to be upgraded, environmental sensors on those so we can detect when there's changes in the environment. And then staffing to support the equipment and the ever-growing needs of our growing district. That concludes my report for today. I request approval of the technology plan as presented, and I'm here for questions if you have any.
Any questions? Attended one of the meetings, though. I think you did an excellent job getting everybody involved. If no one else has any comments, I move we accept we approve the 2024-2027 district technology plan as presented.
A motion and a second. Sean, I will just say before we take the vote, you mentioned it's been a busy 6 months, and that's when you arrived. And you know what you've accomplished since May is pretty astonishing. And so, what I really focused on there was really the last slide when I was looking at this over the weekend and today, is having a plan for sustainability of our equipment and replacement of this equipment over time. We don't want to have to go to the taxpayers for a bond every time we need to update equipment. So coming up with a plan that really outlines what our timing is for replacement, I think is huge as we look forward through the growth and the replacement. So kudos to you. If there aren't any other questions, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Motion approved. Thank you. Mr. Scott. Start off with the monthly financial services report.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent. You have been provided the results of operations for the first quarter of the fiscal year ending October 31st. The most significant thing about the budgetary comparison report that you have is I'll address that shortly. This month is where a lot of the numbers start to shape up, and you can kind of see what might be happening for the year. But as a summary, all of those at our budget at this point. There are no budget amendments for consideration in this report. The information report, we appreciate every dollar of donated by various PTOs and boosters and other individuals. But the excuse me, the story of this month is the tax collection report. This is when the district receives the bulk of its tax levy as an early pay discount district, one of the few in the state. This is somewhat unusual. The results of that were a little bit unusual this year. We got 65% instead of 70% of our levies, which is the norm. One theory on that would be that interest rates, current interest rates, incentivized the taxpayer from paying in October. Regardless, we expect by the end of January to receive the same percent that we would have otherwise. But just a picture of that 5% is about. With that, put this forward for your consideration. Do you have any questions?
No question, just a comment. I went back to last year's November budget update, and we were about 1.25% behind the previous year. And of course, last year was when interest rates really started going up. So I think there's some validity to what you're saying. And we ended up collecting the same percentage in 22-23 as we did in 21-22. So it'll be interesting to see what we get. But when I tell folks, because I always tell them, hey, we're one of only 30 districts out of over 1,000 in the state that offer this discount. And so that saves you, the average taxpayer a couple $100. But really, when you think about it, if you wait till January to pay, you're waiting 3 months. And yeah, you're losing the 3%, but really 3% savings is like a 12% return over those 3 months. So forget what interest rates are. People ought to pay in October because it's really a 12% return, not a 5% return.
Yes.
But I don't think they've done the math. So in any event, I think we'll do fine. And where was your joke this month?
A joke?
Yeah, you didn't have a joke.
At the end of the video.
Yeah.
Oh, show that one.
I don't know how they digitize that to make me say that. I would never say anything like that, Dr. Pierce.
All right, let's move along. Are there any other questions? And if not, I would entertain a motion to approve the financial report.
So moved.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the budget amendments, donation report, and tax collection report as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Mr. Scott, annual comprehensive financial report.
All right.
All 197 pages of it.
Yes, in detail. District is required by state law and board policy to present an annual report on their financial operations and have that report audited by an independent accounting firm. That has been done and presented to you. This report, we submit this to the TEA subsequent to your acceptance and approval. This is provided to the Federal Audit Clearinghouse for oversight of all the grant funds that we receive. This is provided to our rating agencies. This is provided to any underwriters that want to look at our debts. A number of different folks. It is an important document. Is available on the Boerne ISD website. Just go to Departments, Business and Financial Services, Financial Transparency and Annual Reports. We have a 5-year history of those reports. Last 3 reports that have been prepared, including this one, is a comprehensive financial report. The largest difference between that and a typical annual report is a transmittal letter in the front. Financial report. Largest difference is this statistical section in the back. It has a number of different categories that have a 10-year history of different items related to the district. It is a good source of information. I would recommend taking a look at that. It is, as President Pryor animated, is a large report. It's actually only about 120 pages and not 197, but it is a lot of information. If you're going to look at anything, I would recommend two items in there. Management discussion and analysis is a nice 5.5-page summary of the important items related to finances of the district for 22-23. That starts on page 25. And the schedule of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance, budget and actual. Of course, the board is responsible for approving 3 budgets for the general fund, the service fund, and the child nutrition fund. The biggest of which is obviously the general fund. That's on page 72, where you've got a nice layout of originally adopted, what the final amended budget was, and what the actual results are. I'll take a look at that. Oh my, skip that page for a second. The audit process starts, it's not quite a year-round process, but any time that there is any significant development or significant transaction, we're normally making the auditor aware if they've got any questions, providing information about that to them so that they have a good picture of the district when we start to plan the audit out in May. They come out for interim field work generally in late May, early June. A lot of that is internal control testing. That's generally when they select a federal program that they test that year for the federal program audits. They come back out in August and September, and that's when they do the most substantive testing of the different accounts and transactions. At that point in time, there's generally a draft of the ACFRs is my word I use for this report. They start reviewing that. then in November. This is required to provide to the VA by the. Now let's go back. So the results of the audit, as Mr. Wilson talked about a little bit earlier, we pay the auditors to provide 3 opinions, and the first opinion is financial statements themselves. That was not an opinion. That is almost a 4-page opinion, but if you're interested, the second paragraph is where it will tell you that it's an unmodified, is the highest level. The 2 additional opinions are related to internal controls and compliance with our programs. They say that there are no deficiencies in internal controls, no instances of non-compliance, and that we complied material federal. There is a summary of finding and question costs on page 116. What I always like to point out there is that as a result of the audit, we are considered a not considered a low risk, and that is the case this year. So at this point in time, I will certainly entertain questions about the report and give it up for consideration for approval.
I would just echo what Mr. Wilson reported earlier. We had the opportunity to visit with the auditors last week during the Finance Committee meeting, very complimentary of your office here that Dr. Pierce put together. And now very clean audit, no weaknesses, so well done. With that, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. President, I move we accept the annual comprehensive financial report for the year ended June 30th, 2023 as presented.
Have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Future business items. A couple of nights we'll be naming a lone finalist, and then we will not have a regular scheduled board meeting in the month of December, but we will have a reception in Dr. Price's honor on the 11th of December, which would have been our regular meeting. So with that, all those in favor say aye.